Ghana. We are grateful for your company. I am Bernice Abubedu Lansa. Let's look at our headlines now.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
EcoBank.
President John Mahama announces procurement of military backhoes and specialized equipment to strengthen desilting efforts and prevent floods.
Also in this package, Ghana tackles family planning funding gaps as stakeholders push sustainable solutions to secure contraceptive access and improve maternal health outcomes.
And later in the bulletin, Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers wants Nkukon Kitten project reviewed.
And in business, Ghana Revenue Authority hints of possible tax relief for businesses impacted by the recent floods to aid post-disaster recovery efforts.
On the international front, World Health Organization warns that cholera outbreak in Sudan could get worse. We have details of all these stories and more, including business, sports and entertainment.
Well, we begin with flood-related matters as government says it will soon procure additional backhoes and other specialized equipment for the military to improve the clearing of drains and reduce the risk of flooding across the country. The recent floods have exposed significant gaps in the country's sanitation system, prompting President John Mahama to announce the acquisition and deployment of the equipment to support ongoing desilting and flood prevention efforts.
And so the military will continue that exercise even after we have finished this two-day cleanup. We also have to get specialized machines like backhoes to take the silt that we have taken out of the drains and put them in a dump truck or a tipper truck to take them away. We're going to get some more backhoes for the military so that all the garbage and the silt that we have taken out of the drains, they'll be able to gather it and go and dump it somewhere. Otherwise, if we don't do that, what we would have done will be in vain, because when the rains come, it will just wash all those silt and garbage back into the drain. So thank you very much, everybody who has come out. Let me especially thank Niga. He's gone around the whole city. I want to thank him, thank all his other traditional leaders, and all the people of Ghana who have come out today to clean their environments. Thank you very much.
Still on the national sanitation exercise, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has urged traders and residents of Nungua to keep their surroundings clean to help prevent flooding and the outbreak of diseases. She made the call after joining residents in the area on a cleanup exercise on the first day of the National General Cleanup Exercise in Accra. Vice Presidential Correspondent Evelyn Tengma reports.
Today is day one of the 2 days National General Cleaning Exercise as directed by the President John Dramani Mahama. And of course, today the security services, public officials, heads of public institutions, MMDCEs and other government appointees are leading the exercise today. And of course, tomorrow, the rest of the citizens will join in the exercise. By 8 a.m., Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman was at the Nungua market and its environs to take part in the cleanup exercise.
We know that nature will do its own thing. But sometimes we also contribute negatively. Even the person who suffers may not necessarily have been the one who caused the damage. So this should be a wake-up call to all of us. We all know the right things. We don't need any sermon. We know. Let's do the right things.
A heap of refuse near the market was an eyesore prompting the Vice President to question local authorities about why it had not been cleared.
The challenge we are also having is with the SIP and the frequency with which Zoomlion, the managers of the escape container sites, the frequency with which they collect the waste from the sites.
So what does it mean? That you need more, you need less? What
the assembly does to augment, like I've said, is to use our drip machines to support the evacuation. We also have a escape track. We use it also to support the evacuation.
So how long do you think it will take to get rid of?
This one by Sunday.
Wow, what's today? Today
we should have collected. The problem is also because of the cleanup and the extra waste generated.
So it means that if I come Sunday evening, the place will be
certainly
clear.
Yes.
It says Sunday?
Yes, by Sunday.
From Nungua, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman moved to the seat of government, Jubilee House, where government officials and staff joined the cleanup exercise by cleaning the premises.
There are lots of things at the Flagstaff House that is not meant for show, or meant for the public. This one, it's important that we do it this way because it's been declared so that we show that leadership is starting from home. So for me, this one in particular is very important.
The rest of the public is expected to participate in the exercise on Saturday, July 11, by cleaning their surroundings, desilting gutters and collecting refuse, all aimed at preventing further flooding and the outbreak of diseases. Evelyn Tinkma, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, we still focus on that nationwide cleanup exercise which began today as government races to mitigate future floods and contain the health risks left behind by the recent deadly floods. But with your dot drain still heavily silted and clogged with waste, many residents fear the exercise may have little impact unless major waterways are dredged immediately. Here's a report by Stanley Niblu.
In the Greater Accra region, government institutions, agencies and security personnel spearheaded a cleanup exercise aimed at ridding communities of filth and restoring areas affected by the recent floods. Alajo, one of the hardest hit communities, has seen several parts buried under waste after floodwaters swept through, depositing debris across the community and into the Odor drain. Several days after the disaster, large amounts of waste and other contaminants remain visible and uncollected. Minister for Finance Dr. Kasiela Toforsen led teams from agencies under the Finance Ministry to clean the area. 4 teams were deployed to Alajo with support from the security services. The Finance Minister briefed the teams before the commencement of the exercise.
We are here to assist in the exercise of cleanliness. Unfortunately, we all went through a very difficult flood. But the truth is, this should be part of our everyday life, but we are making it quite occasional. And so we are here to begin the process of institutionalizing cleanliness in the body politics of our lives. And so Ministry of Finance, we are here as instructed by His Excellency the President that all ministries, departments and agencies must take part in the cleanliness.
The ministry's chief director also underscored the importance of civil servants participating in community service initiatives such as this.
This area particularly, the Alajo area, they really suffered a lot. The flooding was beyond what they could accommodate. And anytime there's flooding, there are consequences. People's homes are affected, their workshops are affected. A lot of rubbish is carried to places where you don't want it to be. So on occasions like this, it is important that we come and show some love, show some care. And that is why we have come to help them clean the environment, desilt the gutters that we can desilt, work with the appropriate organizations to carry the dirt away, the rubbish away.
Police officers actively collected and evacuated waste, while military personnel supported the exercise. Efforts are also underway to remove vehicles that were swept into the Odor drain during the floods. Trucks were positioned to transport the refuse collected. However, some residents resorted to openly burning the waste they had gathered. Shops remained closed during the exercise. The Switchback Road was also a hive of activity, As staff of the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority (DVLA) took advantage of the cleanup exercise to clear silted gutters, clean the frontage of their offices, and tidy sections of the road. The DVLA's chief executive, Julius Nikwe Kote, who led the exercise, reiterated the need for a change in public attitudes towards environmental sanitation.
It's about public education. No matter what you do, people don't really understand or know why they must not throw rubbish into the gutter. So public education will tell them what the disadvantages are.
The two-day cleanup exercise has been welcomed by many environmentalists. However, they say the exercise alone cannot resolve the persistent flooding problem unless the Odo drain and other drainage channels stretching from Caprice to Adabraka are dredged immediately and indiscriminate waste disposal is brought under control. This is the current state of the Odo River. It remains choked with sand and plastic waste. Community members fear the next heavy rainfall could have even more devastating consequences if dredging efforts are delayed further. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
It's very interesting images we're seeing from the cleanup exercise today. Now, the Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Ibrahim, says the success of the nationwide sanitation exercise should mark the beginning of a sustained national effort to improve environmental cleanliness.
You could see that every ministry, every office, every institution, everybody was involved. And this is an all-inclusive cleanup exercise. Then we can, citizens themselves, you could see that everywhere you go, people came out in their numbers from both political divides. Make sure that all the rubbish that were hit, the trucks will come and clear them to those transfer stations for free. All aboboya and tricycles that are taking waste to the transfer station today and tomorrow is for free.
Let's stay on this subject matter a while longer and engage Professor Asa Mohammed. He is the Director of Research and Innovation at the University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Navrongo. Doc, thank you so much for your time. We also know that you are a development expert. From your perspective, how can we sustain this kind of exercise without the government or the executive having to lead the way?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this whole issue of flooding and disaster management generally needs to be looked at seriously in this country. I think all what has happened the past few days, the flood, what preceded over by the attempts by all the agencies to restore life and property, and also what is currently happening today of the cleaning by individuals and then agencies, are things that we have been doing for so long. I think the country needs to really make use of knowledge, science, and technology to solve this problem. Therefore, a lot of efforts have been done in this direction. Personally, I speak to this issue with a lot of passion because a lot of attempts have been made in the past. If you look at even policy direction of this country, I can mention several policies that this country has attempted to resolve issues of disaster. We have National Disaster Risk Reduction Strategy 2020 to 2030, National Disaster Management Plan that has established NADMO, and the establishment of NADMO as an institution, and the military. And we even have designed recent development where the UNDP has even supported the country to develop what we call the Ghana National Disaster Management and Risk Financing Strategy for 30 years. That is about 2025 to 2030. These are things that a country that has been in its almost about 100 years of existence should be doing. We should be engaging knowledge, using our institutions. We have grown so far to be fighting fire. Every time we behave as the proverbial crow, that when it's raining, that's the time that we start thinking about what to manage, what to do. When it starts raining and the disasters start coming, particularly flooding, it is obvious that Greater Accra is a flood-prone area for structural reasons of the place below sea level, the development are highly uncoordinated. People are not following rules In fact, the policies on building codes are not applied. And every day in, day out, the whole surface area of Greater Accra keep on being cemented.
Right, Prof. So it brings into...
I think as a country, we need to really challenge ourselves. Yes?
It brings into perspective the question of local governance and the role that local authorities should be playing in sustaining the cleanliness of our environment. The big question many have raised is that in time past, we used to have the Samansama or town council, as some call it, and they are asking that type of strategy or policy be reintroduced. Is that the way to go, where every day we are asking people to clean up?
Why did we stop? This Samansama you are talking about existed. When Ghana was Ghana, when Nkrumah Ghana was based on planning, National Development Planning Commission was established. We said we are going to make sure decentralized planning, all local assemblies were supposed to plan, including environmental and environmental conscious planning. All these things are in our books. We have training our students in this direction. They come out and the practice is completely different. The question is, why are we here? We are disrespecting common knowledge. God has given us all what it takes to solve the problems of flooding in Ghana. Go to University of Ghana, go to Science and Tech, come to my university, go to all the universities and access to sit down and give you the solutions, and they are out there.
Okay.
The question is, who is taking the steps? And this is the challenge of politics today. It has become NDC politics, MPP politics, and at another point in time, you don't even know where we belong.
Right.
It is too insulting to the knowledge of this country. To be frank with you, we have sat on this for too long. And that every rainy season, we have to come out and be pretending as if we are solving the problem, and it is still there all the time. Greater Accra needs restructuring. There are a number of proposals that have been made. One, have we taken time, even at the national level, to do identification of all the disaster risk areas? You go into the literature, you have packets of this. And I'll tell you, there have been a number of things that even international agencies have advised us to do, and we are not doing.
Okay.
One, you can talk about the recent one that UNDP helped NADMO to do. How much have we done in that regard? So to be frank with you, it's not about the local people or the local authorities working. They need to be directed to work.
Okay.
Currently, the medium-term plans of the local assemblies are ongoing. They are almost ending the medium-term plans. But how many of them have really carefully identified this as an issue?
Right.
How much budget allocation have they made to it?
Certainly, I feel the passion with which you speak, and you alluded to that right from the onset. And it's interesting you raise a number of questions where city authorities and the leadership and even the ordinary Ghanaian needs to start thinking critically about. Thank you for your time. We'll have to leave it here for now. You heard Professor Asa Mohammed, Director of Research and Innovation, University of Technology and Applied Sciences. He's also a development expert.
Do stay with us. We're still bringing you stories relating to the aftermath of the floods. And there's a warning for persons who may be tempted to consume dead animals, including chickens that drowned in the recent floods. Experts say eating such animals could unleash deadly diseases, fueling outbreaks of bird flu, Ebola, and other life-threatening infections.
Floods wiped out a significant number of livestock, especially poultry. But beyond the farmers' heartbreak, a deadly danger looms. In some communities, people are risking their lives by buying dead animals at low prices for food.
People who are into animal farming, into poultry farm, into sheep and goats and cattle, whereby this flooding also extended into the facilities that they use to keep these animals, especially poultry. When it does happen this way, we expect that they dispose these dead animals safely. They should make sure that those birds don't come into the public food chain. Sometimes when it happens, people want to take advantage of cutting the heads, dressing them for the public. It's not safe to consume dead animals. So should your poultry birds get dead due to flood, don't take advantage because you're going to make money to do that.
Risk Communication Officer at the Ghana Veterinary Service, Dr. Benjamin Kisisasu, warns that this reckless practice could trigger catastrophic disease outbreaks.
There's a need for them to ensure what we call biosecurity, making sure that the fencing of their facility the disinfectant that is stepping, because as it's flat, you know, the water comes from so many places, from cemetery, from other farms. If you don't take care, we'll have outbreak of disease that can affect animals, and some of the diseases that affect animals can affect humans. We know about Ebola, we know about bird flu, we know about mpox and Lassa fever. For those who are into the poultry especially, bird flu, Ghana, we still normally have some cases.
The poultry farmers in Greater Accra and the eastern region have been left devastated. Association President George Dasa warns affected farmers to take precautionary measures and desist from selling flood-killed birds.
The waters that came in, you know, these waters are contaminated waters, and therefore it makes the whole bird unwholesome. So the advice is that as much as possible, these birds will have to be either burnt or buried. They shouldn't be consumed at all. In those areas affected, we are actually trying to let our members know that these birds will need to be disposed of very well, either by burning or by burying. But to consume is no.
He says urgent precautionary steps are underway to protect farmers and avert another disaster. Beatrice Sowa, TV3 News, Accra.
And for years, many residents have complained about choked drains, indiscriminate dumping of refuse and flooding whenever the rains arrive. But in Tema West, the people who often bear the consequences decided to become part of the solution. The nationwide cleanup exercise transformed streets and marketplaces into work sites where neighbors worked side by side with security personnel and officials of the assembly.
Long before sunrise, traders left their stalls, residents stepped out of their homes, and youth groups assembled with brooms, shovels and wheelbarrows, not because they were compelled to, but because they believe cleaner communities begin with collective action. At the busy Texpo market along the Spintex Road, traders temporarily exchanged business for community service, sweeping pavements, clearing drains and removing heaps of waste that had accumulated over time. Many say they joined the exercise because poor sanitation has become more than just an environmental concern. It is now a public health issue. They note that the situation is particularly worrying during the raining season when clogged drains contribute to flooding and increase the risk of diseases such as cholera, diarrhea and typhoid.
I feel if we should have been doing this thing earlier, nobody would be carried away by the water.
Across the municipality, gutters were desilted, overgrown medians were cleared, and refuse was promptly loaded onto waiting trucks, ensuring the waste was not left behind to find its way back into the drains. The municipal chief executive for Tema West, Ludwig Tay Toteme, and other officials participated in the exercise.
Great support all over. Sustainability is not going to end here. They are going to continue to monitor, to enforce, and make sure we can go back to what if the recent floods. We have not seen the weather. Eric, don't worry. Had a lot of children, a lot of desilting. The point is for the gutters to be choked again. They are going to take time and ensure that time to time we desil the gutters.
If as individuals we conscientize ourselves and decide that we'll clean our own environment, if shops who have closed now and are participating decide that we will not litter in front of our shop, we will clean our frontage, and everybody is cleaning their frontage, we will not have a situation like this. So I think.
Away from the floods, focusing on another headline story. For many women in Ghana, access to family planning is more than a health service. It determines whether a young girl stays in school tackle whether a mother avoids another high-risk pregnancy or whether a family can plan its future. Ghana has expanded access to family planning services over the years through government and partner support. Yet, many women, especially adolescents and those in remote communities, still struggle to access contraceptives because of cost, distance, and inconsistent supplies.
The Ghana Health Service reports that family planning remains one of the most cost-effective interventions for reducing maternal and newborn deaths while advancing women's health and economic well-being. Health experts warn that any interruption in the supply of family planning commodities could reverse gains made in reducing unintended pregnancies and improving maternal health. These concerns dominated a high-level stakeholders summit in Accra, where government, development partners, civil society organizations, and private sector actors discussed sustainable financing for family planning commodities and the strengthening of supply chains. The meeting comes amid growing concerns over funding gaps and the long-term availability of contraceptives across the country. Director of the Family Health Division of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Kennedy Brightson, assured that the government is working to prevent possible stock-out.
We had challenges with stock, not because the commodities were not in the country, but the commodities were at the ports, and there were a couple of bureaucratic and technical challenges that prevented the commodities from coming to us quickly enough. But now we have the commodities and we are looking at the distribution and all that. How are we able to sustain, particularly when certain major players like the USAID, have withdrawn from the system? But we still have collaboration from UNFPA, the West African Health Organization, WAHO, and particularly from the government of Ghana.
Civil society organizations also warned that Ghana cannot afford shortages if it hopes to sustain progress in reproductive health and reduce unintended pregnancies.
As much as we're concerned about malaria and cholera, maternal mortality, all of those things, family planning and sexual reproductive health is critical. And it affects our indicators as well as our maternal mortality numbers, which we want to bring down. Either private sector and or government steps in, increases domestic resource mobilization from the grassroots level to the district level to the regional level, and in the private sector, as I have mentioned, we all need to band together.
The United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, reaffirmed its commitment to supporting Ghana with funding and technical assistance to ensure women continue to access life-saving family planning commodities.
There's something we call the matching fund, and for Ghana it says that for every dollar invested in family planning procurement by government, UNFPA will provide a matching fund in the ratio of 1:2. But just this year, that ratio has reduced to 1:1. So every $1 that government invests, UNFPA will provide an additional $1 in that matching fund arrangement. So
Movenpick Ambassador Hotel in Accra has held its second annual event, the Green Stay Initiative, themed Healthy Food Options, Not an Option. The event seeks to champion healthy nutrition and lifestyle in the hospitality industry.
Poor diets and sedentary lifestyles are driving a sharp rise in lifestyle-related diseases such as diabetes, hypertension, and obesity across the country. The Green Stay Initiative, organized by Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, brought together stakeholders from various industries committed to promoting healthy nutrition in Ghana. The general manager of the hotel, Isaac Opoku Eje, noted that healthy food choices start within the hospitality industry.
Having a balanced approach in terms of our productivity level, our business ethics, and then what we procure as food is very, very important. And that is why we want to create this platform and encourage all businesses to look at using our locally sourced food to create healthy menu for our staff. For us at Movenpick, we want to take the lead in ensuring that healthy food options are uppermost in the way we manage our workforce.
Speaking on behalf of the Health Minister, Dr. Ignatius Awunibuno called on other organizations to join the cause and championed the purchase and use of locally made food items to encourage healthier lifestyles.
The Ministry of Health remains committed to working with the private sector and industry players like yours to promote healthier workplaces across Ghana. Let us work together to create workplaces that support healthier choices, reduce the burden of NCDs, and contribute to a healthier and more productive workforce.
The event featured exhibitions of local products and panel discussions involving leaders from government institutions, businesses, and the sustainability community, all united in a shared vision of promoting healthy food choices for a productive workforce.
Thank you for staying here on News 360. Business news will be coming up shortly, but before that, let's bring you the weather update for the next 24 hours.
Weather News segment is brought to you by Syntex Tank.
Welcome to the business segment on News 360. I am Minu Afol. Now, Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sarpong, has assured businesses affected by the recent floods that the authority will explore and implement all necessary measures to alleviate the financial adversity they face. Speaking to the media during a national cleanup exercise in Accra, Sarpong emphasized the GRA's commitment to supporting the business community through this challenging time.
The Commissioner General's comments suggest a proactive approach to provide tax relief and other reforms of assistance to facilitate the economic recovery of businesses across the country.
Whichever reliefs that are available from the tax point of view, we'll work with them to ensure that they recover to the extent that is possible. But it is said that cleanliness is next to holiness, which means that in living our daily lives, we must ensure that we take responsibility for cleaning our environment.
The Commissioner General urged businesses to help keep clean the communities in which they are located.
For businesses, especially those who can, there's also a call that where you can sponsor in the community that where you are, provide tools, provide support so that the youth and other people in the environment can also use them to clean the environment. And
the exercise comes after torrential rains inundated several parts of the capital, claiming lives and causing extensive damage to homes and businesses. The President's declaration seeks to galvanize a nationwide effort to improve sanitation and prevent a recurrence of the tragedy.
Meanwhile, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, says the improper handling of the cedi notes can pose a risk to public health, as banknotes may carry harmful bacteria when passed from person to person. Speaking during the national cleanup exercise in Accra, he noted that keeping the cedi clean is part of a broader commitment to public hygiene.
From another perspective, and that is to do with the banknotes, the cedi notes that we use at the markets. We want those notes to be always clean, because research has shown that there tends to be bacteria on the banknotes, and as you can expect, when people pass those banknotes around, there tends to be bacteria that is transmitted from one another, and so that is why the central bank is joining government in this campaign. We are going to sustain it. It's not going to be a one-day wonder. If we can do this monthly, at least it helps to sensitize the people. We are happy that our heads of departments are here with us. They are also going to carry on the message with their staff, right within our own premises, at the offices, the way we handle the refuse. Management will make sure that we do this and do this better. And we are happy you join us, TV3, in this campaign. Help us to propagate the message going forward.
We'll end the segment with updates from the forex and commodities markets. I am Minu Afol.
Welcome to 4 Points by Sheraton Accra Airport Hotel, a unique luxury hotel that promises a memorable and well-connected stay. The hotel offers 5 types of spacious rooms with elegant furnishings from our standard, deluxe,
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen. Now, Portugal have entered a new era following their World Cup exit, with veteran coach Jorge Jesus appointed as the new national team boss. But beyond his arrival, attention has quickly turned to Cristiano Ronaldo, whose international future remains uncertain at the age of 41. Here are the details.
No time moving on from their World Cup disappointment. Just days after Roberto Martinez stepped down following the round of 16 defeat to Spain, the Portuguese Football Federation has appointed veteran coach Jorge Jesus as the new national team manager on a 4-year contract through to the 2030 FIFA World Cup. The 71-year-old, who has enjoyed success with clubs including Benfica, Flamengo, Al Hilal and most recently Al Nassr, now takes charge of the national team for the first time in his coaching career. One of the biggest questions surrounding his appointments was Cristiano Ronaldo's future. With the Portuguese captain now 41, many expected the World Cup to mark the end of his international career. But Jorge Jesus quickly shut down that speculation. He declared that Cristiano Ronaldo would never be a problem for Portugal, describing him as a symbol of Portuguese football and insisting that if Ronaldo is available, he will continue to be called up for the national team. That means Ronaldo's international story is not over, at least for now, as Portugal begin a new era under a familiar face, with Jesus aiming to blend one of football's greatest icons with the country's next generation of stars.
Now to our next story, the South African Football Association, SAFA, have denied that Hugo Broos has left his role as head coach. Belgian publication Buzz Blue News reported this week that the 74-year-old Broos had described the decision to bring his 5-year stint in charge to an end following the World Cup round of 32 exit as irreversible. They had quoted Broos as implying that SAFA president Danny Jordan was considering another role for him. The association did not explicitly deny this or make any direct comment on Broos's future, but they said in a statement on Friday that he remains head coach. That's it for the sports segment here on News 360. My name is Bill Ishen. There's more on the bulletin after the break.
Ghana for the second World Cup running, the only African.
My name is Noella Donko. Auditions for Ghana's Most Beautiful 2026, the nation's most prestigious culture and beauty pageant, are officially underway. Dozens of hopeful young women have gathered at the Micklin Hotel in Kumasi and the Western Serene Hotel in Takoradi, all competing for a place in this year's competition. The nationwide auditions will conclude on Sunday, July 12 at the TB3 premises. Auditions for Ghana's Most Beautiful 2026 are officially underway as the search begins for the next queen of culture, beauty and intelligence. Dozens of ambitious young women have already showcased their confidence, talent, and cultural heritage at the Micklin Hotel in Kumasi and the Western Serene Hotel in Takoradi, all hoping to secure a place in this year's competition.
From north to the coast, she's a flame in the cold, with a heart of a warrior and the spirit is bold. She is fire, she is rain, she is the smile you see after pain.
I believe that when a young woman understands her worth and her identity, she becomes powerful enough to transform her world.
I must say, it wasn't tough and it wasn't easy, but somehow I managed to get my way through it. I had a very amazing time with him.
The final audition comes off on Sunday, July 12th at the TV3 premises, where the last batch of contestants will have the opportunity to impress the judges and earn a spot on Ghana's biggest cultural reality show. Prospective contestants are required to report for registration from 8 a.m. and they can register in advance through the TV3 Reality app or complete the process at the audition venue. Aspiring contestants have been urged to comply with the official audition dress code, which requires a GTP miniskirt and a plain white tank top. Well, that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you so much for watching. And like a reminder, we say the game between Spain and Belgium will be live on TV3, so you do want to make a date. My name is Martin Esiedu Dati.
And I am Bernice Abubedu Lansa. Have a good evening.